Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Deep Dive Through the Upside Down. If you notice, we are missing one person with us, and that's Mr. Fuentes. He's actually preparing for one of his tours right now, so he's going to be gone for this episode. But hey, we at least still got Drew with us today, right? Woo! But we get to talk about
Cringe.
episode 5 and 6 today, which honestly, we get the most unmemorable episode, and we get one of the most pivotal episodes that lead into 7 and 8 and 9 to get us through
Uh-huh.
that. But I want to be straight honest and forward. I hated episode 5. Even when I first watched it, I hated
Yeah,
it because it just wasn't memorable for me to sit there and watch it. I mean, the first time around, it was good. The second time around, eh.
I think the only time that comes to my mind, like the only like part is when, like honestly, Brenner is walking down and see the 11 for the first time. That's or since the last time they saw each other. But like that's like the only thing that comes to my mind when it comes to episode 5.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. Like,
And I mean, the only other thing, like I said, I was saying earlier, is like, the killing, the most, the killing that's in the
yes,
lake. That's the only thing that I can remember out of that whole episode is like, hey, yeah, the whole killing and stuff. And I'm like, wow,
yes, yes, yes.
that's all
That's
we get
it.
out of it. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's episode 5 for you guys. No, um, but with this episode, like I said, it wasn't as memorable as the other ones. We do get a little bit more detail into the Nina project, what it is, what's going on, and what
Where's
Brenner
it located
and
and all that.
yeah, what Brenner and Owens were up to the whole time, especially Owens helping out 11 and Will, Joyce, and Jonathan into moving. Like, what
Mhm.
was his real true intention on helping them out? Honestly, it seemed like it was really just to help out 11 to finally unlock that whole superpower thing going on, and a whole fucking, what is it, a whole bomb cell or a whole missile. I think it was like a missile holding area that they used to
Yes.
have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fucking insane. I kind of want one of those.
I just want to go look at one. Like
I know.
you just have a beautiful. How did he say it? You can't have just like a beautiful driveway and tell everybody, "Hey, I'm here." Like, you got to make it more obvious, not obvious. But I thought that was pretty like cool that he was kind of explaining the backstory of what they had to do in order for 11 to train, or to go
Mhm.
underneath the
I just
word.
love how there were Owens was selling her, you gotta be here, you can do all this and that, and then comes Brenner walking down, and then like her whole like life flashed before her
Oh,
eyes,
her
basically.
whole, like, she just looked and she was just like, "Oh no, like,
Yeah,
it's not him." And I'm like, "Yeah, not him. I didn't want him here. I thought he
yeah.
was dead." And
We all
then,
thought he was
like,
dead.
yeah, we everybody thought he was dead. And then, I was just kind of like, "Why they do this to me? Like, why they bring him back?"
They gotta
But like her
spice up
whole,
things.
oh, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. They do. They got to shock us once, at least once in our life. But her whole demeanor changed like the moment she heard his footsteps, and they made that notable. Like, the audio turned down and you heard the footsteps, and I'm like, who's this?
You
Who's
already
coming
knew.
down?
I feel
Yeah.
like you kind of already knew. I mean, I didn't know, but like in some like very very diehard like Stranger Things is their life. They knew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just that dramatic music hitting and obviously his voice being overheard and shit. So it's like Darth
Honest.
Vader walking into like a battle or some
Oh
shit.
yeah, absolutely. Like, like the music hits, like, what is it from Law and Order, like SVU, when you hear the dun
Yeah.
dun, like, what's happening and you're transitioning. But like, with this, you heard the audio go very low, you heard footsteps, her demeanor changed because the camera panned to her and her face just went like solid ghost white. Even though
Mhm.
she's already pale, she was just even more white. And like,
Yeah.
it was just like crazy. And then she ran. She was like, I ain't
Fuck
doing this
this. Yep.
shit. No. She's all, fuck this shit. I'm out. Like, I'm done. But the way that they treated her, like, when they were trying to keep her, like, there before her leaving and everything, kind of was like, damn, they're treating her like she's a caged animal. Like, she has no power. Like, what are you going to do? Like you
What's she
have to
gonna?
come.
Yeah, what's she gonna do?
Like she comes out with the needle this big. Like, oh, just calm down. It's all good. I'm like, what? You don't need all that extra stuff. But they. I guess whole precaution wise, while all of this is going down under in the whole missile launch, missile holding place, we get Will, Mike, Argyle, and Jonathan. We get Argyle panicking over a dead body because he's over here freaking out, and Jonathan's trying to knock some sense into him to tell him, hey, it's okay, it's all calm. And he's like, what do you mean it's okay? Like he's out of the high, he's already hitting his low, he's just like over today, and like
I
everyone's
don't
just
know.
kind of like
I feel like he's in like the high. I feel like he's in the high
panic.
anxiety like level of being high.
Yeah,
Like yeah,
he's
like
like
that feeling. I'm like, bro, I know what you're going through right now.
like that whole panic and anxiety, and like Jonathan's like, yeah, just go do what you normally do. Oh yeah, the purple kush, right? And he's like, yeah, or whatever it is, the palm tree delight or whatever. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
go do that. And Will looks at Jonathan like, do you think smoking weed is going to be okay? And Jonathan looks at Will like, that's all he has. Like, you got to keep him calm at least, because he's
That's
been through a lot. Like, that's his first body, like dead body to
uh,
see. All the rest of them have seen and dealt with other stuff, like out of the world kind of type stuff. And he hasn't. So I give him the benefit of the doubt for being,
they're like, huh, newbie.
they're like, nah, you'll get used to it after the 10th one. But it's just bad. But I mean, at least they were like the way that they presented him, like that full anxious and anxiety level, we can all see it. And we're all that. There it goes. Okay.
There it goes.
Yeah,
Right,
go
cool.
ahead. Go back to what you were saying,
It,
sir.
it, it, it is a sign that Fuentes is not here. It just turns to shit.
I know, right? He has some way he's communicating with us through this whole malfunction.
No, I was gonna say it goes to then it goes to Hopper on his failed escape plan.
Oh yeah.
Basically going back and telling everybody else what he saw and all this shit. But yeah, he's still stuck in the slammer
He was
at this
pissed.
point.
Like he was just mad, and he got his butt beat out of it because they thought that this filthy American was gonna get out, but he never did. So they're just giving him his repercussion for doing that. And like he sees Enzo, or what's his name? What's his actual name now? Is it Enzo, right? No?
Yes, it's Enzo.
It is Enzo. And like literally the moment the Hopper sees him, he said, "Pop!" He went to go fight him and told him off. And all the other prisoners that were there, they're just like, do it, American, do it, hurt him. He did you wrong, and he didn't do it. He had to withstand all of that, and then like not beat him up. I was like,
He just needed to
damn.
deck somebody and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
he just needed to leave that anger out.
Oh, I couldn't hit that cop, so I'm gonna hit you. Like, but I get it, the frustration, because he was right then and there. And then his mind after that was like, Joyce. Like, what's gonna happen with Joyce? He put her in a situation that he didn't want her in. And and then we get the whole, them, it's Joyce and it's Murray and it's Yuri in this whole plane. He has them tied up. He explains to them that, like, they're going to be worth money because they're wanted by the KGB, and that peanut butter is a very good asset for Russia, for Mother Russia, that he can make $20 over there when peanut butter in America is only $4.93 to him, which is absolutely hilarious. And he's I can buy my mom and my daughter a pony. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy. And then Murray's like, well, what about your family? What about your mom? And he's like, well, my mom's dead, but I could still buy her a house. I was like,
I totally forgot about
God.
that scene or that quote. Oh my God.
he just that
Uh,
whole conversation was hilarious. Just seeing it all happen, and I'm just like, Yuri, stop. Like that was one of I think that was just like the thing that was like memorable in that episode was just the whole scenes with Murray, Joyce, and
Joyce and
Yuri
yeah,
because that just helped out so much to give that little bit of oomph to that episode. Still not my favorite, but those scenes in there just mattered to me
you
because
know, yeah, it is like I remember that scene now, or it's towards the end of the episode. What I'm
Mhm.
thinking about. We'll get to that later, but yes, now I think about a more memorable scene because Murray showed his true skills.
True
Yep.
skills, man. True skills. Um, we get a little bit more in detail of what Brenner and Owens were up to the whole time. So we get 11 finally realizing that Brenner is there to help her get her power back because obviously Vecna, you know, took it or someone took it from her. I mean, it's kind of obvious that she's going to need help, and Brenner's here to help. How are we going to do that? With the Nina Project, which is this big old um, tank, septic tank, right? Is it a septic tank
Yes.
kind of?
Yeah.
Where she's able to watch all these screens, hear all audio to help her with her memory to get back to where she was before,
It's insane.
which is insane. Like looking at
The
it and
80s.
the 80s,
Yeah, the
bro.
80s.
But seeing it, I mean, it would be amazing if they did like a pop up shop and just had that septic tank so you're
They
able to look
should.
in it. Like, it would be wild just to step in and be like, wow, this is the stuff that she actually had to sit in. I am very like, you know, I hate being in closed areas, like very tight
Mm,
enclosed areas. I would be freaked out to even be laying in there by myself and like the water and everything. Mm-mm, I can't do it. Claustrophobic. I'm very claustrophobic.
claustrophobic. I was like, what's the
And
word for it?
yeah, it was on the tip of my tongue and I was like, let me just describe it. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very claustrophobic, so I can't. No, if I was in there,
Mm.
absolutely. Kudos to her as an actress and as like showing it on screen like whew, kudos to you, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually made like a museum of Stranger Things, like in Georgia or some shit. I mean,
Oh,
that would be so cool.
that would be
Because
beautiful, man.
they kind of already have it in well, I wouldn't say kind of already have it, but like it's kind of like a ride like in Florida. They have
Uh-huh.
those Halloween horror nights, whatever, at Universal
Ooh,
Studios.
yeah, and they did
Yeah.
mention that they're doing a Stranger I think they're doing a Stranger Things one this year.
Yeah, what the fuck? I want to
Dude,
go.
I would go,
Costs
honestly.
money though.
All right, let's go. So if y'all guys want to here's my cash app. No,
Donate down below.
down below for us. But like honestly, that would be a view. I've been wanting to go to these pop-up shops as well too. Like they had one in New York. There was one in
Oh, I
Dallas.
saw the New York one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, these look so cool. Like, can it cut down to San Antonio just a little bit closer? You know, just so I'm able to go. I mean, it's
Uh,
only a 2.5 hour drive for a 2 hour drive for me. Like, it's just maybe like down the road for you. Easier for you to get there.
yeah.
But, but
Just walk
yeah,
there.
I honestly would love to see one of those tanks just so we can kind of see like what a glimpse is of it in there. But you got like 17, I think 17 to 18 like screens in there. You have full audio. She's there trying to get some kind of memory back. And she has to start all the way in day one
Day one. Yep.
when she's
The
small little
fundamentals, the
11.
basics, all that shit.
Yeah, she has to learn all of that. And she has all her brothers and sisters from number 2 all the way up until I think it's 13, right? 13,
13.
13, 14, maybe?
I
Or she
really don't
was
remember.
11. I
I
honestly
got.
can't remember.
I can't remember.
But she gets the whole fundamentals, but she has to get through the first day or first little hiccup. And she's talking to one of the workers named Henry.
Mm.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
she talks to Henry, and
This
it's like a
Henry
loop.
guy.
It's like a loop that's constantly going because she can't get herself out of that loop. And Owens is trying to say this is a bad idea, and Brenner's like, we have to start somewhere. We have to make her remember what happened.
Hmm.
And for all of you that are kind of new into like this episode or haven't seen it, well, spoiler alert for you, we know what happened. And we know that there was some kind of incident that happened at the lab. We just don't know who caused it. We don't know if it was 11 that really did cause it or anything. Like that's what we're trying to pinpoint, and that's what Brenner is trying to do. Is trying to make her remember that day, that
Moment.
exact
Yep.
day and moment in time. But it's going to take a lot of steps. It may take weeks, it may take days, may take months or years for it, but they got to figure it out somehow, at least. But we get a little bit of a cutback back to the boys that are in the desert. We see that Argyle is fine after taking his hit of the
His little
purple.
Kush.
Yeah, his little Kush, break. He's making a tombstone with the pizza box.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's hilarious. And he's like,
That's
here
right. Yeah.
lies Spy Guy. And I'm dying because, like, Jonathan's like, really? A tombstone? They're going to know we were here. What are you going to
You
write?
gotta
Jonathan,
respect
Will,
the
and Mike?
man.
And, like, yeah, you got to respect. He's like, you got to respect this man. Like, what if he has kids? Like, and I was like, man, this is hilarious. Like, I can't.
Hey,
And,
he was a good agent. He was a great agent. He fucking killed all
bro, the
those
way
like
that
soldiers.
I give him props. He was one of the A game
He
agents.
was
Like,
calm as fuck for that situation.
absolutely. Like, he was handling his business, and he knew he had to handle that business. So it was great. Great A. He best agent. Give him a little plaque. But we do get Will and Mike together, like kind of like hanging out, talking to each other, which is kind of like a bittersweet moment for me because I'm over
Per-
here just like, oh, this is so cute and adorable. But like in the inside, I'm like, but Mike, Will loves you. Knowing what I know now, I'm like,
yep.
dang,
Yeah.
it was just trying. But Will was trying to give him advice because Mike is feeling very down on himself because he was just trying to figure out, but if he went with him, would things be if he went with her to that whole Nina project, would things be different? Would Why didn't she take him with her, like stuff like that? If they didn't argue before this, where would he be and why would he be there? And
Mhm.
Will's just kind of like, you can't just do that. Like, you can't just take blame over for something. Like, you made your mistake, you talked to her and you argued over something that was very little, but you have to own up to it, though, is kind of like the conversation went.
Yep.
And then Argyle's like, oh no, my pen's not working for this tombstone. And they realized that the agent the whole time was telling him that the numbers were inside this
The
pen.
fucking pin.
The fucking pen. And that's exactly what Mike was like. The pin. The pin. Let me see that pin. And he's all taking it apart. And Argo's like, oh no, the pin. Like, and they figured out that there's some kind of number
Number.
that was hidden in there. A number. And from then on, we go back to the crew and Hawkins a bit. We get to talk to, I think it was Eddie at the time.
Oh, is that when Eddie is like asking Dust for more supplies, or
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Okay.
yeah. We do get Eddie asking for supplies. They're like, hello, like, Dustin, I'm hungry. But he's in Reefer Rick's house.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors and stuff are kind of like, Reaper, Rick is out of jail already. Like, that's kind of strange. Like, people can see Eddie and not see Eddie, but they see someone
They see an
inside of his house,
yeah, yeah.
and they're not too sure if it is him or not. So, he's making it more obvious that he's there. He took a thing of SpaghettiOs, put it on the oven, on the stove, and was mixing it up because that's all he had.
Yep.
And Nancy answers the walkie and was like, yeah, we'll get you a supply, because he was saying, well, I'm going to have to go out in public to go get my stuff, which he wasn't. We
He
all
ain't gonna
knew
do
he
that shit.
wasn't. He wasn't. He's banished. He can't go out
Like
there.
Eddie, you just fucking being pampered right now. Chill out.
Yeah. And then he knows that it's a very intense thing. So he asks his, Miss Nancy Drew, if he can have a 6-pack of some cold ones because he's just having a little rough time, a little rough out there. And she's like, yeah, sure, whatever, but I gotta go. And he's like, no, 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 don't you go, don't you go. She hangs up because Dusty was supposed to be watching over Max after this whole incident.
They can't find Max for a
They
second.
can't find Max, but we get the one of my second favorite scenes in this. We get a whole scene with Nancy and Dustin running upstairs to the kitchen, and we see Max there just drawing with their headphones in. She's like, "Hey guys, I'm okay."
They're all
And
freaking
then-
out and shit.
And then Miss Nancy's mom is there, and she's like cooking breakfast, and she's like, if y'all guys are hungry, go ahead and eat. And the dad's like, can y'all guys just go slumber party somewhere else? Like kind of being nonchalant about it. And it's Miss Byers, right? Is it Mike? Wait, what is it? What's her last name? I can't remember.
Oh shit! Yeah, what's your last name? Fuck.
But it is. It's Nancy and Mike's mom.
I don't know. Billy's wife. I don't know.
Billy's almost wife, but she's just kind of offering like Dustin a plate, like here, and she's like, "Go ahead and help yourself." And the dad's like, "No, don't take too much." And he's like,
"Yeah,
I'll help myself," and just starts piling all the pancakes, like he literally
buffet.
And he's like, I will. And he starts doing it with the biggest smile on his face. And I'm just there dying. Like, I'm like, go, Dustin, go. He's taking like 5 pancakes. He took like a thing of bacon, like a handful of bacon, put it on his thing.
They said help yourself. So.
Yeah. And like, because Mike's dad had the newspaper and he folded it after he saw him loading, and he's all, damn, this boy can eat. And he's all, thank you, and then took it to go sit down. It was just so funny. And we get Nancy trying to ask Max some stuff, like, what's going on? What are you doing? And she's kind of explaining like what she saw, but like not explaining it, more or less just drawing it out what she saw. And Dustin's like, maybe you locked into somewhere that Vecna didn't want you to see. And like, maybe it's a key to get to him and some sort. And then Nancy was like, I've seen this before. I know where this is. And she starts folding paper mache, like she's taking a black marker. And we figured out that it's the old Creole house.
Yes.
Which is absolutely amazing, seeing like how she's like.
Oh, I'll never figure that shit out.
I was like, what the heck? I was like, how do you know where that goes? And like, I'm like, what?
Looking around like, well, I'm fucking stupid. I would never found.
I'm like, god damn,
discover that.
I'm like, are you in like art or something? Like, how do you do this? Like, explain. But no, we get this whole like, they figured out where they're at, how it's going, and then where does it go after that?
I think that's when Nancy takes all of them actually to the house, no?
Yeah, they take them all to the house. They go downstairs, get everybody like all piled into the car so they can go because they know where this is. And they're trying to figure out how to get into the house. The door's locked and Max is like, I have a way. Takes a brick, throws it in, and I'm like, I'm just thinking to myself,
it's abandoned.
It is abandoned, but that beautiful rose window, like,
okay, that's true.
That kind of killed me. I'm just like, no, all that hard work. But they finally get into the Creole house. It's dark, it's icky, it's gross, it's full of spider webs, cobwebs, whatever you can think of. It's in there, and they're just kind of looking around to see if there's any kind of clues into what and why is this house shown, and why is Vecna even have any kind of remark to it? Like, what's the connection in between these two? But we get a cutscene. We get to go back. I think we get to go back to the prison with Hopper. Hopper and Enzo. Enzo is talking to the guard. I think it is. Or they're trying to think of some kind of plan. Like they're They're there.
Is that when Hopper is like having a heart to heart with Enzo,
Yeah,
or
I
right?
think so because that hadn't happened. It doesn't happen in episode
I think
6.
he's talking to him about like he's putting Joyce in danger. You know,
Yeah,
everybody gets close to. He always puts them in danger, so he
yeah,
gets real close with Enzo. So now Enzo and Hopper are just like this at this point.
yeah. Like
Um,
there's no going back. Like that's a
yeah,
friendship that
yeah,
I
yeah.
was so happy that like nothing happened this season.
Mhm.
Like we finally get to see Enzo like out like we get to see a softer side of Enzo that I was kind of hoping for and a softer side of Hopper because we don't see that. He's more of a tough ass and like if it's not his way, it's the highway. The 3 inches on the door, like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like that's how I see Hopper. And then him hearing his story, like how he puts everybody in danger when it comes to like he first started off with his wife, then he started off with his daughter, which made me tear up a bit.
Yeah, that was
And
sad.
then
Yeah.
and then the whole situation with 11 and then the situation
With Joyce.
with Joyce. And like I felt it because that heart that pulled the heartstrings a lot. And I was like, damn, as a parent, I'm like, damn, that hurts. Like
Hmm.
watching it. And like now to see that him and Enzo kind of are now on the same page is nice because they both understand each other because they both got kids. They both got somewhere they need to be, and they need to be
Hmm.
home.
I also liked how Enzo like realized that how much of a piece of shit Yuri is.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
because you would think like, I guess Enzo could have easily said, "Oh yeah, fuck him, let's screw him over, like screw it, whatever," because he's
yeah,
gonna get more money. But no, he was just like, "No, this is fucked up. Like, even though I'm going to get fucked up, like he can't defend that." Um, so yeah, major respect for Enzo when that shit went down.
yeah.
So
Because he knew that shit was kind of shady. But what else
you
happens?
got a
I feel.
bromance there.
Oh yeah, we got a little bromance moment. Um, we
Oh,
go
and that's
back.
when is that Christy's funeral service.
Yes, we get
Totally forgot
Vecna
about that.
trying to look. I think it's Vecna looking for a new host.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it comes down to one of the group members of Jason's basketball
Basketball
league.
team.
And we see that I can't remember the kid's name. I think it was like Dan or something. I could be wrong,
Let's see if I can find it.
but
Um,
but it was a part of the whole clique,
it
you
says
know.
Patrick.
Oh, Patrick, there it is.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of I was like, is it a Dan? I don't know. But we get the whole, you know, funeral service. Everyone's just kind of like emotionally distraught, especially Jason, because, Eddie's out there. Eddie's free.
Yep.
Everyone thinks it's Eddie. He thinks it's well, not everyone thinks it's Eddie. Jason knows it's Eddie, and he feels like he
He's
he
telling
he thinks
everybody that it's Eddie.
he's telling everybody it's Eddie, and everybody else is believing him that it's Eddie, and it's not. I mean, we all know it's not Eddie
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now, but
It's just they're gonna believe, like the high school popular jock, obviously.
yeah.
So
But we get to
no
see
surprise there.
how Vecna goes looks for a new host,
Mhm.
which is crazy because he listens all through Hawkins. He finds I would say the most tormented person in the inside that's hiding something that shouldn't be hiding or like has the deepest darkest secret because you hear people that are conversating about, oh, should I break up with him because he hit me once or twice, but makeup will cover it, no one will ever ask me. Then you have someone like conversating or arguing with their significant other, and like you have all these conversations going on, and he picks the one
Mhm.
person because he picks Patrick just because of a conversation that he had with his dad or an argument that he had with his dad about him not doing good in school, that he needs to be better and that he should be disappointed. Like you hear that conversation and then
That's actually
bam.
crazy. Like watching that scene, it just obviously shows how Vecna works. But then like it also makes you think, like he just said, like Vecna just like fuck it, I'm gonna kill you next. Like it's just random. I don't think he really like targets anybody besides like 11 or
Yeah.
some other people. But like it's just wild how that transition. how it just shows like the camera like going around like you said, different conversations, and it just goes straight to Patrick because like, she had one bad argument with his dad,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Which is weird. Like I said, like it was just kind of weird because like I thought like he was going after like I thought he was just picking on like the high school kids, which for one, he is picking on the high school kids because majority of them were high school kids. But
Mm,
like two, it's not anybody in particular. He's going after whatever and whoever. Whether
mhm,
you're a jock, whether you're a nerd, whether you have your deepest, darkest secrets, he's gonna know
yeah.
regardless. Like how we know with Max. Max was very open about the whole, not very open, but the way that she felt about Billy, and everyone knew the way that she felt about Billy. Chrissy, we just know that she had an issue. From my understanding, it was an issue with her parents about her weight loss and weight gain. Like it was always fluctuating. It was either she was never good enough for her parents to be either too fat or too skinny. It was
Mm,
always let me change your gear, let me change your cheerleading outfit because you've gained weight. Let me change your cheerleading outfit because you lost weight. It was never just never anything like that. With Fred, it was because he felt guilt because he run off someone off of the road, or he got in an accident with someone and he survived, but
mhm.
that other person didn't, and he was just letting that person suffer because he didn't know what to do as a person. And then with Patrick, now we know it was a conversation about him letting down his dad and being a very big letdown because maybe it was something that his dad wanted him to go to college and he didn't want to go to college, or
Yeah.
he wasn't getting the scholarship that he was getting because of basketball. Like, you know, I guess it's like a real reality of what these kids go through now, like, or anywhere, you know? But
It
it was kind
sucks.
of weird seeing all of it. I'm like, shit, damn, he really listens in on your conversation, so I can't even argue with anybody.
Motherfucker's nosy.
He's where's the cheese man? he has
Mexican
his little
Vecna.
co- he has his little coffee and his little, sweet bread, everything. He's just sipping, like waiting. Let's see, who am I gonna go after today?
Yeah.
Ah, such a toxico. That's what he is. Toxico.
Uh,
But yeah, we get to see him. But we get to see him go after his next host. When he does pick him, it's actually I don't think it's actually at the funeral home. It was when he was driving with
they're
all of
driving.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but we do get like a like what he's doing to Patrick because they're at the funeral home and then he sees the clock and he's not even paying attention to the funeral. He's paying attention to that clock.
To the
Like
clock. Yeah.
everyone, yeah, because you see everyone gazing forward and he's just turning because he sees the door open on the side, which was a confession room. It just kind of opened up,
Oh, I didn't.
which I.
Okay.
I looked into it. I was like, "What is this room? Like, why is it so?" I was like, "Holy shit! It's a confession room that
Yeah.
the fucking clock
I
appeared
didn't
at."
realize that. That's good. I like that. Okay.
I was like, damn, he wants you to confess your sins, my
That's always
guy.
like it's an opportunity for you to like open up and confess, but
Yeah. But
obviously
no,
that
he was just
doesn't work
like,
like that.
nah, he saw. No, I mean, I was like, oh, we'll get to that episode when that happens. But,
Yes.
but, um, but yeah, we got a lot more detail in that. And we get to see, like I said, a lot more of what Vecna and how Vecna works, which was pretty interesting to see. Um, what else is it? We do get the boys back again. They actually find out that that number that they found in the pen isn't actually a phone number to reach someone. It's a fax. It's a faxing number, like a computer that's talking to
Mhm.
you. And who knows computers better than anybody else that we know? And everyone's kind of looking at each other like, who are you talking about? And then Will comes in with the turn around, look at what you see. And everyone's like,
Fucking
oh,
Susie.
Susie.
They're
So they're on a mission now to find
going to fucking
Susie.
Utah.
Everyone's like, oh my
So
God. So they're traveling farther out of California in order to find Susie, which is cool because we get that. Um, I think that was no, that wasn't it.
no, that
Yeah,
wasn't it. Nah.
that wasn't it. we still get Jason and the whole crew. I think it's after the funeral. Like they're all still on that kind of like hunt
Hmm.
for Eddie, and they got word that someone's at Reefer Rick's house. Yeah,
Okay.
Reefer Rick's house, and
Yes.
the crew is going that way. And
And then also, does it pan to? Was this Murray and Joyce in the plane, right? Still.
yeah, they find out that someone they let Jason and the crew know that someone's at Reefer Rick's house, and this is when we're getting to like the climax of that episode and
Mhm.
everything. We cut from that and we go into the whole plane ride with Joyce, Murray, and
Yuri.
Yuri. Now this one I can give like full. I love the story that they built with Murray, which was really fun. Um, we get Joyce and Murray trying to break out of the rope.
Yep.
Uh, Joyce is trying to cut through with something, and Murray is too. But they can't. Yuri can't hear what they're doing because the plane is stupid loud. And the only way that Yuri was fond of what they were doing is because a jar of peanut butter fell on the floor
Good.
abruptly and rolled all the way to Yuri.
Yuri.
And Yuri's like, "What are y'all guys doing over here? Like, you're not getting out." And we get this whole conversation, that Murray can do this. He can beat up Yuri, uses his karate. And Joyce had asked
Yeah,
him, like, who
we've
has
never
you?
seen it. We never
Yeah,
seen Murray go off.
we always hear that he knows karate, but we just don't see it. Joyce did ask, like, who have you, like, fought after? Oh, this 16-year-old kid? The best one in the class. And Joyce is like, 16? 16.
He was an
What's
aggressive
it?
16-year-old, right?
Yeah, he was an aggressive 16-year-old from what Murray had said. And it was funny because, like, he was like, the youngest was 13 and the oldest is 16. Like, what else more do you want from me, Joyce?
Hey, I love his honesty.
He was very honest to say that he fought a 16-year-old, at least the best one in the class. But Yuri's trying to fight them off, trying to make sure that they don't go free. And we get this whole quote by Murray when he's trying to defend himself that my hands are like arrows, and like this whole fucking speech. And he does one chop chop and then like
Like a knee, leg
a
kick,
knee
all that
leg
shit.
kick, and I'm over here like screeching. I'm like, Mary, he's doing it.
I love how, yeah, Murray like fucked him up, but then the realization of Joyce is like, you just like knocked out our pilot. Like, like what do we
Yeah,
do
like
now?
like it was 1-2 KO and Yuri was out like a light. And they're panicking because they don't both know how to fucking fly a plane. But luckily for them, they were already somehow, some way in Russia already. But they start pressing buttons and start figuring out what's going on, and they
They just
lose
crashed.
control. They just crash.
They just crashed, plain and
They
simple.
crash, and that's what we
They
get from there. We know
yep.
that that's all we get for that episode, honestly. Like, we know that they crashed. They're there. We know that they make it, but that's all we get for it. And then we get a cut back to the whole Eddie and Jason situation. We get Jason and all of them showing up at Reefer Rick's house.
That's right.
Eddie's
Yeah.
still waiting for the rest of them to get here, and by the rest of them, not Mike, Steve, Max, and all of them, Dustin,
Yeah.
they're all with Nancy and Robin at the Curio house. They finally figured out that Vecna is there, but like, not figure out that he's there, but the lights are doing some type of weird stuff. They find spiders everywhere. It's just like really creepy and stuff, and I can't do that.
Mhm.
They find a light, like they're using their flashlights. They make it all the way up to the basement. At this time, the whole chase is going on in between Eddie and Jason and all of them because they find him. They find him. Eddie's panicking. He's running. He goes into one of the boats that was there in the boat dock. And then I think it's like a rowing boat. And then
Yes,
I
yes,
guess
yes.
Jason and the crew as well too, but they're going after him
Start
like
swimming. Yeah,
swimming
they're just swimming.
after him. While that's going on, Vecna catches on to Patrick.
Patrick.
And Patrick gets pulled down under into the lake because, you know, Vecna kills whoever, wherever, whatever time he wants to. Jason's like, Patrick, 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 where are you? Like, and
This
Eddie,
man's still like, yeah, keep going. But yeah, I'll say it
yeah,
after.
but Eddie is just like freaking out because he's just like, I don't want to get caught by them because he knows that it's just not going to end well for him. And everyone in the crew has their lights up, and we see Patrick just get
Just
bolted all the way straight up. Eddie just panics and looks at it, stops what he's doing, looks at it. Jason's looking at all of this, and the lights start going off where the other crew is at the Creole house. Flashlight by flashlight is just going as every body part of Patrick is getting turned around,
destroyed.
eyes
Yeah.
sunken out, which is really cool. Like how they did it, like a whole cinematic thing, because they kept with his one body part will go, you'll see Steve's flashlight go out. With another arm, you see Nancy's light go out. Like it's pretty cool how you're seeing the whole layout of everything. And
And
once
still, after seeing all of this, fuck, what's his name? The jock. Shit,
Jason,
Jason still thinks it's fucking Eddie's like fault.
yeah, how is it Eddie's fault? You don't see him like over there, like you don't see that, but you see Eddie freak out because he falls back into the lake.
Mhm.
And he messes up the walkie. He messes up his watch, but he's able to escape because you have Jason just freaking out and panicking because
He just witnessed just pure death. Like I don't.
he
I,
just
what
he
else to
just
say?
witnessed one of his friends die in front of him the same way his love did.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't know how to like cope with it, and he just witnessed something that he shouldn't have seen. And then that's it. That's all we
Pretty
get.
much it of episode 5.
Episode 5. It feels like it was a long episode, but damn, like that was just a lot for that episode to come in. And honestly, like I said, after those two scenes, those only two scenes that I fell in love with, which is the whole scene with Dustin and Mike's dad, and Murray with the whole speech about his hands and arrows and stuff. Like that's the only two things that I liked about that episode. Everything else,
Yeah.
trash. It was okay. It, like I said, wasn't the most memorable. Now going to the most pivotal episode that we needed for us to be set up for episode 7, 8, and 9 is episode 6. With episode 6, I feel like this was a really big build-up and a big storyline and development in character both for Jason and also for Eddie, because we get to hear the first words of Eddie the Banished. We finally hear, and then we get to hear more on why we hate Jason. Like why we hate him a lot more now, because for one, not everyone liked him. 2, everyone was happy with whatever outcome that he had happened to him. And 3, he is the reason why everyone is going after Eddie. Like he, from day one when the cops came and told him that it was maybe Eddie and they're thinking it's Eddie, he was 100% certain that it was him.
He was like, "Oh, Eddie's the devil. He's using his powers and all this shit." I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just looking at him like, okay, bro, but that's not how it works. Like,
what if it's this way?
well, what if it's this? And he's like,
Yeah.
no, it's this. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You do you. Like, it is what it is. But let's get into this episode. Like, we leave off with
That's pretty much how it starts off, I think.
Yeah. Like we
Yeah,
get like the whole like
with Jason and the cops and all that.
yeah. Is it?
I think that's what it says in the notes.
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, it shows the cops interrogating the him about
Oh
Eddie's a devil, this and that. He's in his powers, like what he saw at the scene.
yeah, because they
But yeah,
just found Patrick and they have it all blocked off at the whole thing, and
yeah,
basically telling Jason like, "Hey, don't you go and tell people that it's Eddie, that you saw Eddie." And Jason's just like, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna do me at this
yeah.
point. I'm
And he
gonna do
just fucked it
me.
all up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like he went and made fucking posters and made like he would had something up his sleeve that he was gonna
Can you
use to help
imagine if
them.
if that happened today? Like you just said posters and like newspapers. Like, can you imagine if that shit went down in today's world? That shit would be all over the internet. Like he'll post that shit
All
everywhere.
over Twitter, all over
Yeah.
Instagram, like
Trending Eddie.
hashtag Eddie's the devil, hashtag Hellfire Cult
Oh my god.
question mark. Like everything nowadays is different compared to what they had back then.
Mhm.
But I think the cops knew what they were doing when they were talking to Jason.
Yeah.
They knew that they were gonna get some type of reaction to him,
Mhm.
and then you were gonna see the whole why. Even though the cops are like, "Oh no, don't do this," they knew what they were doing when they were talking to Jason. They knew they were gonna stir the pot and make it worse for them, but they knew. I honestly think they knew, and they just did it because they wanted to get their hands on Eddie, whether regardless if it hurt anybody or put anybody in danger, which is
I don't
sad.
care. I don't
They
care
don't
about that
care.
shit.
It's the law.
It's the law. That sounds so. That's a dread.
But what else do we get? What else do we get? Damn.
Goes back to Brenner.
Oh, when they're back at when they finally see a little bit of progress in
Yes,
11.
with
Um
11. Um, on says how her brain experienced a like stroke-like event.
oh yeah,
Um,
because she panicked during that whole when she was
little
trying to
test they were
figure
doing.
out that yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
whole loop. So they're bringing her back to life or like
yeah.
they're bringing her back basically out of the septic tank and giving her air and trying to figure out what they did wrong or what is this the right thing that they're doing in order to help her gain her powers. And
Mhm.
I think that's when she I think swings at Brenner or one of the two like she either swings or stabs him with something that's close by and she runs off. I know that she tries to run off again. Somehow, some
Yes,
way.
I think that was actually was that the end of season 5 where
Episode
no
5?
episode 5. Sorry. Um, yeah, where she ran away and then man, is this the end of? I don't want to say it, but is this the end of episode 6?
It might be. Hold
Shit,
on, I might be jumping the gun a
I
bit.
don't want to spoil it. Okay, so it's not. Never mind.
It isn't, right? It's like kind of like
Where guards try to like try to put her hands on
yes.
her, and
Yeah.
then she just yells at the top of her lungs, and the guards just pretty much get destroyed too.
Yeah. Like they broke something in her a
Yeah,
bit. And like Brenner's like, "Okay, this is working."
this is
Owen's
progress.
yeah, this is
The guards are
progress.
dead.
5 guards are gone. He's all, "Yep, progress. We found it." He's all, "Hey, yo, you can tell Vecna to stop killing people now. I think we figured it out. I think we got it. We got it." No, but like we finally get to see that little bit of progress, but it's not like a lot that we're used to. It's just very little to see like, hey, she's finally working out. Like it's doing the good and doing some kind of business, you know. Um we still do get the whole crew I think going to is it Nevada or is it Utah
Oh,
that
Utah for Susie.
for Susie. I think they finally make it to the house. Like we didn't get
Yes.
really much of a driving scene. It was like they finally made it
It was more of
to.
Jonathan like rubbing his eyes because he's been driving so long.
Oh yeah,
Poor
like
guy.
it, poor guy. I mean, Argyle was a hot mess.
Oh yeah, he ain't gonna
Yeah,
fucking
he needed a break.
drive.
So like Jonathan's driving. Jonathan's probably on this much level of like tiredness to like this much level of highness. Like probably
My man
past my
needs a
strength.
my man needs a Red Bull right now. Like
Yeah. Someone get him
or
an
a nap.
energy drink, man. Get him a nap, bro.
Oh
They
shit.
finally make it to Susie's house. Lo and behold, and it's this beautiful house. Like it's beautiful house. I did not know how many siblings Susie had
I did
until
not
getting
expect
into the
that part.
house.
I did
Yeah,
not expect that part for some reason. I don't know what it was, but like I just expected just obviously her as just a single child with her parents and shit. But like I didn't
same.
expect a whole like foster home like type house. Like it's considered.
Yeah, she got a little like a little brother that likes to turn off lights and turn off
Oh
electrical
yeah.
powers.
Yeah.
She has a middle like younger brother and sister that love to record and videotape stuff.
Oh yes,
So
that was good.
dramatic, and he's like everybody else is kind of freaking out, which I just want to know, how is it okay of a group of nobodies that they know just walk into someone's house?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean it's the '80s.
yeah, but like, you just casually open a door or like knock, and like the older sister's like, yeah, you're fine. This is where Argyle finds his fucking true love. He's like, oh yeah, like, hi, how's it going? And everybody else is kind of like, what the fuck is wrong with Argyle? Like,
He's in the zone. Leave him alone.
yeah, he's in the zone now. This boy trying to hit on whatever's there. But he's all in love, he's all happy, and then the older sister's giving us the walkthrough, kind of like, oh, we're all here to see Susie. So they're going through the whole house trying to figure out who's who. We've already gone through the younger brother that likes to turn off electrical. We have the two that like to do the acting. We have, I think, two more that like to cook. Was it?
Hmm.
One's cooking or whatever,
Yeah,
and was
yeah,
like, oh yeah,
yeah.
this is so good or whatever. And like, then they go upstairs because there's a whole bunch of kids everywhere. I think there was maybe like 6 or 7 kids
I remember
total.
I remember not just thinking about that scene. Like I remember watching it and thinking, like I'm not saying they didn't have to do that scene, but I remember watching like, okay, where the fuck is Susie? Like I'm sorry, but I don't care about any of these people right now.
But like I feel like
like
that's what made it even more like epic when we get to see Susie. Like it's
like
Susie.
finally it's fucking Susie.
Yeah.
Like
Like we get
shit.
we get like the whole walkthrough. They're going upstairs. They open the door. Susie's not out here. Susie! And then you get her on top of the fucking roof in a little like hard hat with tools strapped to her side, fixing the antenna, and she's just turns like super casual, like, what? And I'm like, Susie? Like, this is Susie? Some badass worker, like, I'm
Literally
fixing Felix.
now I think about it, like I guess Susie and Duster remind me of, like a Bob the Builder, like with his little like girlfriend too.
That's why I was like, can we fix it? Yes, we
They're
can.
just handyman, like
They
or handyman
are.
with handy woman, like
Yeah. Like it's just full on like, bro, like I like the way like they didn't have to do that scene, but like it just made it just so much more better when they finally showed who Susie was. Which we all knew who Susie was. It's just like,
just the build up that just made, like you said, just made it even better.
yeah, it made it better. Um we finally get the crew to go talk to Eddie, and they realize the cops raided Reefer Rick's house. They're all around the lake, and they're just like, "Oh shit, are we
You're
late?"
suspect number one, dude.
Like, but like for them, honestly, to me, I'm just like, shame on you. He asked for groceries. You could have spared him this,
Yeah.
and y'all guys were like, I'm gonna be an investigator and I'm gonna go look at the Creo house. And you forgot to get this man his six pack when he's been on the edge? Like, man. But they come to find out Eddie's not there. They realize that he was there for a little bit, but he wasn't there. They realize that the cops are looking around the whole lake because something's going on. Another kid had died. Um, so they are trying to figure out how to find Eddie. And Dustin's way of finding Eddie is to use a compass and to go look for him. Like, we're gonna have to search the woods. We're gonna have to find him somehow, some way. And everyone's like, well, I think they were like, if we were going into the woods, where would we go? And I think Dustin had mentioned that the whole rock little
Oh, yep.
thing. So they're on their way to go hunt for him, to go look for him to see where he's at, if he's at that boulder or rock little place or hideaway is. So they go on their hunt to go look for him in the thing. And then I think we get a cutaway with Murray, Joyce,
And Joyce.
and Yuri. We get a whole fucking cutscene, which I love this because they have Yuri. They find everything. They're okay. We find out that they're fine after this crash, which it's like the most epic crash. And like they came out of there, nothing wrong with them.
Perfect.
I'm like, what? Like I thought it was gonna be like lost in like
yeah, because I remember watching that and I'm thinking like, okay, like either one, like Joyce has a broken like leg or some shit, or
like they were
Murray
all gonna be
fucked up
hurt.
something. Yeah, they'll all be hurt, but no, perfectly fine. I mean, they crash in snow, but I'm thinking, well, it's still fucking snow. It sucks to even hit
Yeah.
snow. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I hate to be biased or like be like party pooper about it, but it's like, okay, come on, like that's not realistic.
It's theater, baby. It's
I'm like,
acting.
that's not realistic. I'm pretty sure one of them would be like really fucked up.
Fucking Yuri with a broken leg. My leg.
Vecna got him.
Vecna got him. No. Fucking Murray. Oh, just put some peanut butter on it. You'll be alright. No, but we get this whole cutscene. We get all of them fine and okay. They fucking take Yuri and tie him up to a tree. Like, you're gonna tell us where your camp is or where your house is and where we are, or we're gonna just leave you here. And like, it was just so epic for them just to be like, we're in charge now. You listen to us. And we'll just leave you here in the middle of nowhere. You can get eaten by bears. No one will find you. And I was like, damn, Mary. Okay, keep it going, keep it going. And they're like, we're gonna go find where we need to go. And they start walking, and Yuri's like, wait, take me with you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you change your mind. You change your mind, sir. It's so fucking hilarious, dude. I love them. I mean, them as a dynamic duo, like always together, Joyce and Murray, I think that's like golden. Both of them together.
That's a very underrated duo.
Yeah, absolutely.
People always talk about, obviously, certain duos in the show, but no one ever mentions Murray and Joyce.
Absolutely. Those were like pristine. So we get into back into town with all the rest of the crew in Hawkins. And this scene alone pissed me off as a fan.
Which one?
And you know what I'm talking about. The whole how they do a town hall meeting.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
All of them. I'm going to bring it up. I know I'm probably a little early on it, but I'm going to bring it up because it's a lot to uncover. They do a whole town hall meeting. We get all the parents. We get all the adults. We get everybody in Hawkins, which I didn't realize how small of a town it was until that town hall meeting happened.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I don't think this town's that small. Like, there's no way. But maybe not all of them wanted to attend because of what's going on and all the killings and stuff. But, you know, the ones that really did care about Hawkins showed up. The cops are talking about what's going on. They're taking questions about, like, what happened. And people are just like, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do to help protect us? Like, there's this murderer Eddie out in the open, and you're just letting him kill people and everything. And the cops are like, we have it taken care of, we have it under control. And you have people that are saying, no, you don't have it under control. And then
And that
comes
fucking Jason.
fucking Jason in here. Stop. Wait.
His like basketball like speech type shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, you did that in the first episode. I don't need it in episode 6. But we're going to get it anyways. So he gives this whole speech. He's just saying, I've seen some things. I've witnessed my own friend die in front of me. And I know what's going on. I know that they say Hawkins is cursed and that this place is haunted and scary, and that, it's just we're just doomed in general. And then he pulls up the whole Eddie is
Hellfire
some
Club.
kind of satanic cult leader with the Hellfire Club. You get Erica. You never get Erica upset, but this upset Erica because Jason is saying this Hellfire group is some satanic cult that's trying to control people and trying to kill people to gain more power out of it. And Erica's like, you're stupid. Like, hey, they're just a bunch of nerds and you don't know what you're talking about. And Erica's mom
Yeah.
is just like, nope, sit down. You don't know what's going on. But like, Erica's like, it's true. Like, it is true. It's just a bunch of nerds that want to play D&D together, but Jason is taking it this full blown out of proportion. You get Lucas and Erica's parents there freaking out. Justin's mom is crying, like,
Yep.
because she knows, like, that's her only baby, like that's her baby. And you get
Mike's parents.
parents
Yep.
just freaking out. Like, you get everybody that those kids are in that Hellfire Club and they know this is not going the way that they wanted to go. And Jason's like, join me and hunting him and bringing him, taking down all of Hellfire Club in order for them to be free of what's going on in Hawkins. And that cop, the sheriff that took over for Hopper, is looking at Jason like, you motherfucker, this is what I told you not to do. And this is what he did. And me as a fan, I was pissed the fuck off. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
ooh, Jason, you're lucky you're not here because I would have beat your ass. Like, I was
Not just that
bad.
too, but like I wish the cops would have like done something like to control Jason.
But they
Like,
didn't. That's what
they
I said.
didn't do shit.
It's just so upsetting because around this time, it was just kind of like, I don't want to say it's like always the race thing, but it kind of is the race thing because it is a African American sheriff that's in charge
Mhm.
of the town that does not want no one wants to listen to.
Yep.
Even though he says he has it under control and everything, but none of them are listening to him. Like, he does
No.
have it under control, but he doesn't. But like, no one's listening to him. Even Jason's like, I'm gonna go do whatever the fuck I want to do because you're not stopping me. You're not gonna stop me doing what I want to do. And that
It's
shows
your
a
average
lot.
jock.
You're like, God
Average
damn
fucking
it.
jock.
Like,
Just
it just
punch a
made me
hole through the
bad.
TV.
Yeah. I was just like literally gonna toss my fucking remote, just do a whole Wii remote moment, like, wow. But, it pissed me off through that scene because, like, you see the devastation in all these parents because they realize, holy fuck, did I just let my kid be a part of some kind of cult and everything? And like, some of the townspeople are like, let's get up, let's go hunt this freak and walk out of here. And like, this is
Notice
what we
how
get.
like I noticed when they got up and like they gather up like all like the troops and all that shit. They're all a bunch of hillbillies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's all I was like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Like honestly, like it brings back to when I mean totally different, but it brings me back to like when Halloween, I think it was 4 or 5, at the end of 4, and they bring like all these hillbillies to like beat up Michael Myers and like they didn't do shit.
And same thing in like episode not episode in Halloween, the original Halloween from 1976, that they did the whole hunt for hunt for Michael.
Yep.
Like they all were in the trucks and everything. Even the sheriff himself was in the trucks
Uh-huh.
looking for him to try to get some to save everything that was going on. Like that's what it was, and I give them the props because they nodded, I think two or three different horror movies in here, and
Mhm.
this season, because this was pretty cool because that's what we basically got was like a hunt the freak type thing, but like we got at least a little nod to Halloween that way
Yeah.
because
Yep.
that's what they had to do. They had to hunt Michael the whole time, the whole
Yep.
night, so he could stop killing.
We also got
And
another scene from that, another like homage from that, but it's like later on in the episodes. I know
mhm.
what you're talking about. Eddie. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, that's what I think of when I think of like Jason trying to get all these hillbillies. I'm like, that literally reminds me of Halloween. He gets like, what the fuck are they gonna do other than just smell like beer and try to shoot shit? Like,
Yeah, hee haw.
like yeah.
Hee haw. That's some Texas type stuff, you know?
Well, nowadays, if that shit would have happened, it'd be a bunch of people wearing red caps and and
Oh
then
God. Oh no. Oh no, bud. Oh no.
I
But
don't get political here, but yeah.
same. Come on, no. But but yeah, that scene let alone really did piss me off because like as a fan, I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, the kids didn't do anything. They shouldn't be involved in this. And Jason brought them down because they were a part of some kind of club. And that's what upset me the whole time. I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, this motherfucker wants to bring down kids that he doesn't even know. One of his teammates that he has that's a part of that group, which he didn't even realize because he
He
printed
doesn't
the
even
fucking
realize, yeah.
poster that Lucas is on that poster, and he hasn't realized that until later on in the season. But like, didn't realize that he's on that poster. Like, how does that not click yet? But
Well, I think Lucas told Jason that they tried to get me in the group and all this shit, and I was in the group. I don't think he said he was in the group. I think
no,
he
he
said
didn't
there's
say he was.
just a
He
bunch
said
of.
his
He
sister
didn't say that,
was.
right? His sister. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Um, but yeah, Jason's just.
He's just a
Yeah,
shitty person. Like
yeah, he
right
is. I
then
don't
and
know what
there,
to
he was a
say.
shitty person. But from that then forward, like all of the parents kind of like we got that little scene like before we cut into a different scene. We got that scene where all the parents showed up at Nancy's parents' house and everything because she's panicking. She's like, I hope the kids are back, like from the movies, just so like they're okay. But all the parents just meet up there and they realize the kids lied to them. The kids lied to them because they said they were going to be at the movies and that movie was done
Yeah.
4 hours ago. Like, oh, it's Wheeler. I remember the last name 9. It's weird.
How are they
Wheeler's.
not catching up with things? It's been 4 seasons.
4 seasons of
Oh,
this.
Karen Wheeler, right? That's
Yeah.
her name.
I was like, damn, I finally remembered the last name. It's Wheeler's. And I was thinking Byers because of Joyce Byers and Will Byers. But Wheeler, we go to the Wheeler house and the kids aren't there. And Erica's like, to tell you the truth, Miss Wheeler, they lied to you. And then you hear Mike and Nancy's little sister, liar, liar, pants on fire, and Mr. Wheeler's like, stop it, and like, but it's true. And um, Justin's mom and Lucas's mom are like, what are we gonna do? And Miss Wheeler just goes to the phone and is like, I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call the police. And Mr. Wheeler's just kind of like rolls his eyes because like, what is the police gonna do? They haven't done shit for Eddie. Hasn't done shit for anything. And Mr. Wheeler's like, I could do better than myself.
It
you
just
know?
shows like the Hawkins police are literally worthless. Like,
Yeah.
literally
Only when
worthless.
Hopper was around.
Hopper's
None of that
around.
stuff was going down. But since
Well, pretty
Hopper's
much
not
it
there,
was just Hopper doing everything. It wasn't much
oh
everybody
yeah.
else. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying
It's
like
just
the
like
police are
let
just
Hopper do
shit.
this.
Like
Yeah.
exactly.
They're like, nah. They're like, they got this. They don't got this. They need Hopper. But that was honestly like that whole little scene just kind of pissed me off like the whole time. And I'm just sitting there as a fan upset. Like visibly upset because I'm like, that's not fair to them. That's not fair.
Mhm.
But we do get after that whole scene, we do get the cut through. I think they're in the woods, still searching for Eddie.
Oh yes, yes.
They're still searching for Eddie. Dustin realizes that the compass is acting weird, like he has to constantly keep on hitting the compass because the compass is going haywire. And they're still looking for Eddie. They still haven't found him. I think they
Hmm.
find him. I think they go to the rock and they find him there. Like he he does this whole like caveman pose, kind of like just hunched over and just like squatting down because like he doesn't know what's going on, or like he's just kind of like still in shock of what happened to him that night. We get them at the rock. We finally find Eddie. He does this like whole caveman kind of like hunch over. Like he just looks like he's distraught. Like he's just a mess at this point. Like he's just happy to see them and like know that he's okay because like for one, he saw someone die again. And as he says it himself, I always run away. I do what I do best. I run away. And like the way that he says it, he's a lot more
Uh,
over dramatic over it. And I'm just like, Mr.
yeah.
Banish, you can't just do that to yourself. Like, know your worth. You're worth a little bit more. But he he's going through some shit.
Way more.
Yeah,
Eddie,
we're
they
there
found
in the
Eddie and all
woods.
that.
They finally found Eddie. Um, he says that he does what he does best, and he runs away from the whole situation because he saw someone else die.
Foreshadow.
Yeah, um, and like he notices that Dustin isn't okay. Like something's wrong
Hmm.
with him, and he's also, "What's up with Henderson over there? Like what's wrong with him?" And Steve's like, "Oh, he's just a little mental sometimes," which had me dying when he
That's fucked
said
up.
that. I was
That's
like,
fucked
"Damn,
up.
Steve, that's your boy, and you're just gonna call him a little mental? Like, damn, that's kind
At
of
that moment,
shitty."
it plays back to when Dustin was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, too far! Like, come on, that was too far." And then Steve was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." Like,
Yeah, I'm so sorry. But we get Dustin, and he's like, "Bingo, bada, bada, boom!" Like he's just, and I'm just like, "What the fuck is wrong with him?" And he's like, I knew this rock was north." And Steve's just like, "We went over this. No, it's not." And and Dustin's just like, for real, like he's dead certain. He's like, "It is north, but my compass has been acting up for this amount of time." And I'm like, "Ooh, what is he getting at with that?" Like in my mind, I'm like, "What's going on? Why is he bringing that up
hmm.
now?" And he was mentioning about the whole electromagnetic field, that when there's when there's something bigger and magnetic wise close around for a compass, it will gear towards where that is.
Hmm.
And Lucas brought up that the only reason why that happened the last time when they had a compass is when they were close by a gate. And the gate that they were close to was back in the original lab. That
Hmm.
was the only way that they had that whole compass thing go around. And that's when Dustin brings up the fact that there has to be a gate close to them because the compass is acting up and everything. And Nancy asks Eddie, like, "Hey, when did that whole all thing happen with Patrick and all of that?" And he's like, "Oh, I can tell you exactly what time because, I went into the lake." And he pulls off his watch, and I think it was what, 9:12 is when it
Hmm.
happened. And they're like, "That's the same exact time that the lights happen." And like everyone has like
Just
this
puzzling
whole
together.
light
Yep.
bulb, like, "Oh my god." And Justin's like, "What if there's a gate
Gate.
at every single killing that's happened?" And what does Dustin call it? A water gate?
Yes, Watergate. I'm looking at the word
Watergate.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Watergate, and everyone's kind of like, what? But
Yep.
yeah, like a gate underwater, a Watergate, and then there's Chrissy, there's which we joked about this whenever we recorded our real reaction of episode 8 and 9 of the gate in the middle of the road, like
Oh,
just cars just
yeah.
falling in. Like
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
my mindset's like, oh yeah, Watergate, and then the whole thing with fucking Fred, like just cars just driving by, like what the fuck is this in the middle of the road? What? Just like that's all I
That's an
could think
intense
of
speed
now.
bump.
Upside down now. But that's all I could think of, and I'm like, man. But anyways, we get Dustin asking Mr. Eddie the Banish if he wants to go on this journey, and what say you? And Eddie gives us this speech is I say, you're asking me to go into Mordor with you. I'm in. And like Dustin's just doing this whole dance and like all excited because he's like, fuck, Eddie's in on it, everyone's in on it. And Steve, you can see Steve's face expression. And Steve's like, my friendship with Dustin, it's not the same. Like,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny because like you get to see like those little details, like that hidden details in there. Like you see just Steve like kind of disappointing because that's not the friendship that him and Dustin have, but him and Eddie have that friendship, which is pretty cool. Everything. I'm trying to think of what else happens. What else happens?
Mm, oh, the realization of 11 of is this when like what happened, like what actually happened in that rainbow room? Did she
Is
realize it or no?
not that episode. I don't think it's that episode because we get that more into 7, the massacre of at Hawkins Lab.
Oh, well, she thinks that she thinks she did it. No,
Yeah. She's
that's
on
okay.
this
That's
one.
what I'm
Yeah,
trying to get at. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
She thinks that she did it. She doesn't want to realize that she did it. But we do
Mhm.
get a lot more conversation in between her, old Brenner, his mindset back then. We get conversations. I think it was with 2, 5, and 7 because
Oof,
those are
I can remember that.
they all are like a little group and together and stuff like that. Like we get more conversation in that. We see that 11's a little bit stronger than 2
Hmm.
because they did this whole like force battlefield kind of type thing. Like Brenner wants them to stay in a circle, and if you go out of that circle, you're basically like eliminated. But you get like an extra hour in the Rainbow Room, and 2 was the first one up, and then everybody else was kind of after. And 11 was the last one to
That's
go
right.
against. 11 was the last one to go against 2, and you see that 11 almost bends to 2, but like somehow, some way, she screams and yells, and she pushes him to the glass,
Yeah.
breaks the glass, and two's like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? And everybody else in that room is just like, like,
What the
gas.
fuck?
Gas. Like, how was she able to do that if she can't even move a damn token in the little thing? Like, everyone's kind of like, what the heck? Like, and that's when Brenner realizes her true potential at that moment. And then also to Henry. Henry gives her
Sees it.
like that look like, ooh, okay. But I felt like I jumped a little bit more into this conversation. We do get like a cute little moment with 11 and with Henry in the
Henry.
Rainbow
Yep.
Room before this. Um, he's just telling her, like, remember a time that really upsetted you, and that will help you get that power. Like, help you retain that energy and that power that you want, is what he's trying to tell her, because not everything that Brenner is telling her is true, is what he's basically saying. He's hiding little things here and there, but like he wants her to know what her true power and her true potential is. And while that whole scene is going on with 2 and 11, she's seeing that her mom is there to try to take her from Brenner. Brenner
That's right.
says
That's right. That's
no.
right.
Like, it's like a whole thing. Hence the little rainbow on the side, which I didn't know that was in relations to what they call now as the Rainbow Room. Like, didn't catch that at all. Didn't catch
I
that.
caught that. Like, I actually read about that like on Reddit.
Really, I didn't know that. I was like, oh, that's cute, like the little rainbow, and then it's incorporated into the Rainbow Room. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, wow, I feel so stupid now. But like,
No, no.
no, but
It's a
like
lot. There's
it's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
things
shit.
you don't fucking realize until you like you see it on Reddit or like Instagram or TikTok. You
Yeah,
know,
and I'm
so
like,
it's
damn
like
you, TikTok, damn you. Like, you find out everything for me. But no, we get a little bit more like in like personal with 11 and with Henry, which is really cool because I didn't think that was going to be a thing. Like, it
Mhm.
was going to happen, but we get that more personal level with them, and we realize that he helped 11 unlock a power that she didn't have. Like, she didn't have that potential until that conversation. And I think that's where he was kind of shocked, like, oh shit, I helped her realize something that I shouldn't have, maybe, but like,
Mhm.
it worked in his benefit, in his favor. But after that, we get the crew in Utah with Susie and all the whole group. We have Susie sitting down talking to them. Um, she's trying to get an explanation on why they're there for Dusty Bun, and why Dusty Bun isn't with
Just
them.
fun.
Uh, and they're trying to tell her that facts or that number that she has is connected to a computer that will help them get a game console called an American Nintendo, like an American Nintendo, which who I think they let Argyle pick the name
Yeah.
because he was very confident in it, and we get her trying to explain to them like, you need me for this and that, and like we get the older sister come in and like, hey, you need to pull your weight on the babysitting, and she's like, you need to get out of the room, and Argyle's just hyping up
Argyles is in love.
Argyle's in
Yeah.
love and just hyping up the older sister, like, yeah, you tell Susie. And I'm just like, Argyle, stop it. Come on, like, let him go. He's a good old tiger trying to get
Oh,
some,
shit.
which was funny. Like, that little bit, like little stuff like that, just made the episode just like a tad bit better in my eyes. But it was pretty cool because we get that little bit
Mhm.
of it.
A little
Um,
bond.
yeah, we do get Susie's fessing up to like her guilt for helping Dusty Buns change her grade. She told her dad about it. Her dad was very upset by it, and that
Took the computer away.
yeah, took the computer away and was very upset that she's dating an agnostic or agnostic, non-religion person or something, because she's a born and raised Christian woman to
Mhm.
her dad. So they had to figure out a plan on how to get dad out of the office, because the office is where he's at, or his study, and he's always in there 24/7, 7 days out of the week, is from what she says. There's no way to get in there, and it's also locked, so there's no way for her to get into there to help them
Mhm.
get this item, or this unknown game system to to Dusty Bun. So she's like, well, you're shit out of luck. And then lo and behold, the little brother that likes to turn off lights gave her an idea on what they can do to get into that room.
Power.
Power. Power is always key sometimes. Um, where am I at now? I'm trying to figure out. We do get a little bit of a scene with Enzo and I think it's with Enzo and Hopper, how they're
Well,
trying to,
they're figuring out how to like, I guess bust out at this point.
yeah, because they don't know. Like, they're trying to, like, hey, get me the fuck out of here because, this ain't it. They don't want to be in this prison
Saying it, chief.
anymore. This ain't it. I
Yeah.
don't know if this is the episode where they start talking about the food, like they feed them really well, or if that's in 7. Like they do like a whole dinner.
Oh, I think that's this episode. No,
It is this episode, right?
that has to be this episode.
Because I
Fuck.
know they're doing some kind of dinner, and that they're talking about like what they're giving them stuff for, like feeding them because they're
Mhm.
going to war or something like that. Like they've done good.
I think it's this episode where they have the dinner, but obviously the next episode is where it all went down.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this is the episode where um, I just had it on my screen. Where to go? Where Hopper gets like a bottle of vodka or something and a
Oh
lighter.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is when Enzo's like, "Let me have
Fuck
your
is it?
lighter from the." I think it's from the cop because the other cop is like, talking to him and telling him that he's just stupid for listening to an American to get him in trouble and all that. And I'm just like, bro, he was just trying to help him get to his family. Like that's what he was trying to do the whole time. But we get that whole sit down dinner, and I think that story means a lot because they're thinking they're eating good because they've done it to deserve it, and
Yep.
that
But Hopper
they're
is just chilling in the back, like no, they're just making y'all have one last meal, basically.
yeah, and he's like basically telling them like, "Hey, they're feeding you to the fucking fishes. Like, I'm not eating because I don't want to eat this because I'm gonna be the last fucking meal for this person. Like, no." And he's telling them the dead honest truth. Like, we're gonna be out there fed to something that I've fought before. That I know that y'all guys are gonna lose if you don't have me to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all guys enjoy your food if you want to, but enjoy being plump and ready for the hunt, basically.
For his feast, basically.
Yeah, for his feast. And all of them, they finally like when they said like when Hopper said it and everything kind of had me laughing because all the rest of them like dropped their food
Lost their appetite.
and like weren't eating anymore because he was telling
Yeah,
them the real honest and reality of it. Like, they're just setting us up for failure. And
yeah,
like,
it's the death penalty, pretty much.
yeah. And I like the way that he described the Demogorgon to them without
Oh
saying it was the
yeah,
Demogorgon. He's like,
yeah.
"This thing feeds off of people. Will eat you and tear you alive." Like, they're not joking. They use this monster. I fought this monster before. Like, and he's just sipping his fucking alcohol, and I'm just dying. I'm like, there we go. Like, that's the Hopper that I've been
That's the
wanting to
Hopper.
see.
Yep.
Like, that was the Hopper that I wanted to see all fucking season, and it finally happened. And I was just happy that that was that scene. But he was just telling them the real honest truth, and the other guards that were there were just kind of like, like they knew, but that was just funny to me.
Yeah.
Very funny, very very funny. I'm trying to think of what else. What else am I missing?
Um, memories. Oh, and then how does that? Wait, I'm trying to think of. Trying to think of the part where they go into the lake again. No,
Yeah,
the
when they go back to the lake, they're all
the.
there, and it's that night. I think after all the cops and everything are gone.
Mhm.
Well, they're there, but like they're not like they're guarding around it, and
Yeah.
they go to the dock. I think it's Dustin wanted to go. I think it was Dustin, Lucas, and Max that wanted to go out to see this whole Watergate thing, but it was Nancy, Robin, Eddie, and Steve. Those four ended up
Yes.
going instead, and the kids were left behind because they can't. It's adult shit.
Dustin, Lucas, and Max were left behind. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was adult type shit, and they're like, "No, you're children. You stay home." And they're like,
Oh
"Oh
wait,
man,
is that the part where Steve takes off his shirt and then Max just stays on the binoculars?
yeah."
That's the scene. Yep.
That's when all of them are all out there, and they go to like where it happened and stuff. because I guess they have the compass with them and they're reading it and that's where they're at. And Steve's like, well, fuck, someone's gonna have to go down there, and no one else like swims or is athletic, so
Mhm.
he's like, I'll do it. He takes off his shirt. Lucas has the binoculars and he's all, ew, that's so gross. Like, he has so much hair.
Oh yeah, and Dustin's like, I told him to shave it.
I told him to shave it. And Max is like, let me see. Like, let me see that. She's all just amazed by the body of Steve. And like Nancy's kind of gazing just a little bit like, like that's
Fuentes will love
Steve.
what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that's true love right there. If you can't have him when he's shaved, you can't have him when he has all his chest hair and all that jazz. Like, she's like, damn. So Steve goes down. He dives in. He goes down. Goes to take a look to see what's going on, and lo and behold, Dustin was right.
There's a gate.
There is a gate.
Water.
A water gate, to be exact. And Steve goes a little too close to its liking. I think he puts his hand in it or like his foot in it or something like that.
I think it was his hand.
And he attracted something that wasn't supposed to come to him at all.
Like a tentacle or something.
Little tentacles like,
Yeah.
I need that Steve. Well, you gotta bring me that. Bring me that Steve. So Steve goes back up to the boat, tells him yes, that Dustin's right, and that there's a gate. There is a gate down there, and that he didn't say that he touched anything, nothing like that. He was just joking around and just, telling him like, yeah, there's a gate and everything. And that vine, that tentacle, wraps around his foot and drags him back down.
I mean, you knew something was gonna happen when he's just like floating there talking to them.
Yeah. And I'm just like, this is like a nod to like Jaws as well too, because like he's just there. He's just there, and then all of a sudden, whop, and everyone's panicking. Like, the only one that wasn't panicking was Nancy. Her first reaction was throw everything and dive. Like, after that, Robin's like, oh, fuck, not Nancy. Like, she dives right behind Nancy. And Eddie's like, oh, fuck. Like, he's like, I can't be the one that runs away. And he's like, I hate this, and just jumps in.
I mean, honestly, at that moment, shit, like, you don't want to be, like, by yourself.
You don't want to be blamed for someone else's death. So he's like, I have to go with them.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, shit, I can't swim, but I'm just like, I guess, like, fuck. Like, it's kind of like that saying, like, oh, if your friends jump off the cliff, would you?
They did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, that's that definition right there. If you said yes, that's literally that. Like, it's them. They jump in, and like, honestly, I say that's true friendship right there. Like, literally, like, if I didn't think Nancy was in love with Steve, that was the moment. That was the moment to tell me that she's still in love with him. She wasn't going to let anything happen to him. She was going to go help him. She was going to go save him. While all of this is going on, you hear the cops just twirling around, and they needed a distraction. So Max decides to yell around like, hey, I'm over here. I see Eddie. I know where he is. Why would you say that? Which in the fall, when we get into recording episode 7, you're gonna know why I laugh at this. But but I'm just sitting there like, why would you say this? Why would you? Why? And the cops go after them. Obviously, they do pick them up, and that's all we get for them. We don't get any more after that from them. We just know that the cops went after him, and that they got him. Cut back to Steve. To Steve being dragged in. He's
upside down.
This is the first view that he's had since the Demodogs in season 2 into the upside down. So when he gets there, he doesn't know what he's expecting because he has this tentacle dragging him all the way through, pulls him in, and cue the bats. These fucking bats.
Oh, yeah.
And we get this whole fight scene with him trying to fight off these Demobats on him. Not this whole fight scene, but we get this whole... He's getting attacked. He's getting attacked, and he's trying to fight him off, but
But doesn't.
he goes down. He's out, and bam, the screen
That's
goes
how it
black,
ends.
and that's it. And I'm like, fuck you, Duffin Brothers. Like, how do you do that? Like, if this went by week episode and they
Oh my
left me off
god.
like that, I would have been so mad at the Duffin Brothers for this. Like,
You know, they should do that actually.
they stop it. If they left me with cliffhangers like that every episode for the next season, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'll cry. But that's all we get. That's all we
That's
got in that
that's how it ends
episode.
with episode 6.
And it was emotional because I'm like, Steve. And if Fuentes was hearing the words of Fuentes, like, not Steve, not Steve, not my boy. And
He's
then
a heart and soul.
cue the pops and everything of him, Fuentes bringing him in. Like, it, like, not Steve. In my head, I'm like, holy shit, is this how Steve dies? Like, in my head, I'm like, no, 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 this can't be. This can't be.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I'm thinking like, Steve's not like I was freaking out, but I was just like, nah, Steve's not dead. Like he can't just die like that. Like,
Yeah. I was like, they can't take him out like that. Like, in my head, I had to pause because I think it was when I watched that episode, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning. I had to pause. That was my bathroom break. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna collect myself because if this is where they start off with episode 7 and I'm gonna cry, let me do that in peace. Let me do it when I'm eating my popcorn, when I'm drinking my drink. Let me just take this in. So it took me like 5-10 minutes to get into the episode. And I think that's when I called my husband too. I was like, babe, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I can continue on.
It's like that meme of that girl or like or woman like laying in the bed and she has her headphones on and she's like crying. She has like she has the screen to like 2 feet away from her, and then she has like blankets up to her nose. She's
Literally, that's how my ass was on the couch. Like, I have a recliner, so I'm just sitting there. I have it's big and it's like a really big recliner. So I had like my popcorn, I had my drink in my drink holder, my popcorn on the side, my candy on the opposite side. I had my blanket all the way up here. Mind you, my 2-year-old is asleep in the next recliner over to me, like kind of like I was like, bro, I need room. I can't. Mm-mm. And I was just kind of like preparing myself. If Steve died, I wanted to be emotionally prepared. I had a tissue box too. I had a tissue box right there next to me because I knew this was going to get emotional because I didn't want to
Yeah.
see anybody die. And I wasn't prepared for Steve to die. And I wanted to be prepared if that did happen. But yeah, that was like my little breather before episode 7. I had to take a break because I wasn't prepared to see if Steve was going to die and I wasn't ready. So but we leave it off to that. Episode 6, like I said, episode 6 was the most pivotal episode that happened because you got a lot more detail, a lot more story going on right before the mid-season finale, and I was just kind of like worried and scared. But honestly, episode 5 was
Meh.
that was okay. But hey, episode 6. We made it through. We're almost done, and we have 3 more episodes in this season. And hopefully, we'll be trailing back into season 1, and we get to go back in and our character
That's right.
details and stuff.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that. Can't wait to watch it back all over again.
I know because you get to see all of it, all over when they're babies.
Maybe that's why I haven't actually rewatched it again because I'm like, man, I feel like I want to watch it again, but like I don't know, I feel like I don't want to like mess anything up. Maybe you're right because
That's
like I'm waiting for that. Okay, totally
yeah.
forgot about that. We're gonna go back to season 1 and season 2 and season 3.
Yeah, we're gonna go back and we're gonna watch these, and we're just gonna see character development from when they
Strong
were
character development. Yeah.
yeah, when they were children, like children. Now look at them, fucking teenagers, like going to be grown-ups already, like
They hit
crazy,
puberty
crazy.
hard.
Yeah, they did absolutely. Way to go, Duffin Brothers, for your time jump. You know, so
Big
crazy.
time jump.
But if you've already made it this far into this episode, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. We are under the brand Emo Siwa Productions. When by the time this airs, we've probably already announced it, but we've already hit 1K on YouTube. Absolutely excited. So we got to bring that in, kind of wind that up. And there we I just wanted to say it as an excitement. I thank everybody that's been a part of this brand, and from the very beginning to up to now, like we've had a lot of amazing people come and help us, especially Drew as well too, helping us out here and there. But it's a lot. It was a long journey and we're still got a long ways to go. Um let me see. What else we got? What else we
You
got?
gotta
I think
get that.
that's it.
Y'all gotta get that plaque.
Oh yeah, that plaque is be right there behind me, over there somewhere behind me. You'll see it. We'll make it
Yeah.
known. We'll put it as a green screen right behind me. We got this. But no, guys, we'll catch y'all guys in the next one. The next one should be episode 7, our
Mhm.
mid-season finale, and we'll hopefully have Fuentes back from his tour, from his
Hopefully.
music. I wish him well. Make sure to check out your local music. I mean, like Fuentes is pretty good at what he does. Same thing. Check out your independent wrestling scene and check out your independent wrestlers. Come on, support that Drew guy. Gotta live and learn and
Heard
support
that guy's an
everything.
asshole.
Oh yeah. Who? Who though? I'm all. Anyways, we'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Bye.